have been single my whole life. I've never been in a relationship with another person. I am in a relationship with myself. You think like, oh, I wish I was in a relationship. A relationship would be nice, somebody to love me, this and that. But when we're in our early 20s, I know when I was in my early 20s, and many of my young 20-year-olds don't know about self-love. I didn't know about self-love. You hear about love from another person. You don't hear about self-love. Self-love is true love. I am so glad that I have not been in a relationship and that I was never in a relationship in my youngin' days, because that wouldn't have been love. That would have been lust. I would have been caught up in all this lust and all these, fucked up feelings and probably fucked up situations. Honestly, I do not think that you find your love with another person at a young age, because you don't even love yourself, dude. How can you love somebody else at that age so young when you don't even love yourself? Like, do you even know what self-love is? If you are a young 20-something-year-old, do you know what self-love is? If you're in your teenage years, do you know what self-love is? They say they're high school sweetheart and this and that. But like, dude, do you even love yourself? You don't even know who the fuck you are. How the fuck do you know who this other individual is? It took me a while to learn about self-love and start practicing self-love. Once I started loving myself, I was like this is it, and I was dedicated to that. I didn't think about relationships. I didn't want a relationship with somebody else. I wanted a relationship with myself. There'd be just times, and I had one of these times the other day where I was like, I'm so thankful to be single, to be in a relationship with myself, to be able to love myself, because I'm going to attract loving people. I want to attract people that love themselves, that put themselves first, that practice self-love, that have goals, that want to do better. With a lot of relationships where they started their relationship at a very young age, they separate when they're older. Why? Because it's not true love. It wasn't true love in the beginning. You might think you were in love. They were the love of your life, your first love. Your first love is yourself, not your first boyfriend, not your first girlfriend. Your first love is yourself, should be yourself. It is yourself. It's not nobody else. You can't love nobody else if you don't love yourself. I don't know how many times I have to repeat this. I'm going to keep repeating this because repetition is key, and it's true. And when they start the relationship at a very young age, since they don't love themselves, they don't really love that other person. They think they do, but they don't. They just get used to each other. Some might just not want to be alone, so they're there with the person. They tolerate a bunch of BS. They tolerate gaslighting. They're trying to please that person so they don't leave them, so they don't leave them alone. Because since you've been with this person for who knows how many years, you don't want to be alone because you don't know how to be alone. You're afraid to be alone, and that's what's keeping you with that person. But you guys, like, that's not love, and that's hurting yourself, and that's living life miserably. Why are you going to stick with somebody just because you don't want to be alone and tolerating all their BS? That's just not right, and that's not how you should be living. When you get in a relationship at a really young age, you learn to depend on that certain individual. You learn to depend on them physically, emotionally, mentally. You just get so used to them. People pleasing is not love. Doing whatever they want in order to keep them happy, to have them loving you, is not real love, and that's not why you should be with the person. You should learn to depend on yourself, not on nobody else, on nobody else's love. Depend on your own love. Be there for you and show up for you. I strongly suggest you stay single in your 20s and build a relationship with yourself. Learn to love yourself. Discover your true self. Your 20s are not to escape, to go out clubbing, drinking, doing drugs, smoking weed. No, don't do none of that. Explore different things. Try out different things. Work on your goals. See what you love to do. Find your life purpose. Build a relationship with yourself. Love yourself. Become the person that you want to attract.